The Nikki Glaser Podcast. The Nikki Glaser Podcast.
Here's Nikki. Hello, here I am. Welcome to the show. It's the Nikki Glaser Podcast. It's Tuesday. I'm in studio with Andrew Collin, back in St. Louis. Noah is in Arizona via the computer. Even though, Noah, I don't know why, I just feel like over the weekend, it was like we didn't skip a beat. Like I kind of think that Zoom works to make you feel like you're in the room with the person. Do you know what I mean? Like if you hang out with them every day on Zoom.
Yeah, I mean, you could do that. I'm sure you have friends that were there that you haven't talked to once in 6 months.
I know, but they felt like less tangible when I was
okay.
like, look at your body. Like I can't, but Noah, I feel like it does feel the same.
Also, when I came to see you guys in Phoenix, because I'm so you guys are little tiny like blurs on my computer.
Are you saying we were
basically
so fucking big in person, and then I'm the littlest podcaster in the game?
Yeah, were you blown away by our size?
Tiniest little podcasters. But seeing you in person, I felt like my eyes kind of crossed because I was just kind of, my brain was processing two people that I see on a daily basis who are now life size.
Why doesn't anyone talk about, I mean, I'm sure there's articles about it of like, what does Zoom actually work, or does, to make us feel like we're hanging out with people, like, is it enough? Like, was it something that helped during the pandemic? Like, I feel like we haven't even gotten into, now that we're out of the pandemic, as much as like, in denial of it now, or just tired of it. People being at the airport yesterday, no one wearing masks, it being so crowded. I'm just like, what changed? Like, isn't everything kind of still the same? Like, I'm still getting COVID tested for every time I'm on a TV show or anything, like multiple. So that Hollywood world is still like, April 2020 in terms of like how much testing and masks and stuff. But maybe like April 2021, a little laxer than April 2020. But do you think that it must be better than just phone, FaceTime or whatever? Like, it's got to give you something.
I mean, I think if you're in a long distance relationship, it helps a ton.
Yes.
You just see mannerisms. If you're just
Manurysm.
Yeah, mannerisms, which are aneurysms. But if you're a man.
Oh my God, Joni Mitchell just learned how to play guitar again after having a brain aneurysm in 2015. Did you see that?
I just learned how to speak.
Wait,
what do you mean? What happened to her?
I didn't know she had a brain aneurysm, which is always the thing you hear about, just kills you in an instant.
Yeah.
I didn't even know you could survive them. Maybe I thought that there was different kinds, but she had a brain aneurysm. I was just watching this clip last night. You guys got to go see it. Look up Joni Mitchell. She performed over the weekend with Brandi Carlile somewhere, and she's so old. I thought we would never hear her sing again, and she has extreme stage fright, so she had to learn that again. But Joni Mitchell never liked to perform live. Almost she forgot it probably.
Yeah,
that was kind of cool. But she said she was doing an interview.
What stage?
And she said she forgot. Wait, what do you mean?
Like, she doesn't even know where she. You can't have stage fright if there's no stage.
She's very afraid of stage 4 cancer, which we all should be. I have stage 4 fright. Stage 4 fright. I mean, don't.
I had my uncle's friend died of a brain aneurysm, and my brother ran him over with a golf cart, and I don't know if they're related. Like, if those two things.
Oh, like I mean, we would have to have like a neurosurgeon.
If you've been run over by a golf cart, get your brain checked, is what I'm saying. Even though it was just his leg.
What about your nephew?
Oh my God.
Shit, dude.
That was insane.
I know. Okay, but Joni Mitchell, she was talking to this reporter, and she said she had to relearn. She was like, I'm learning how to play guitar again by watching YouTube videos. I don't know of herself or whatever, but she's like, to see where my fingers go on the guitar. It's interesting to see someone who is so proficient at guitar learn again, but be very good. Like, she's just naturally good. Like whatever is going on in her
like that you're so competitive with someone that had it.
Yes, because it's like, oh my God, Joni Mitchell started from the same place I did, and yet she is so good.
You have a full brain.
I know, and I have. What excuse do I have?
Lazy fingers.
I'm pixlexic.
Kelly Pickler?
Yeah, man, I want to get that last name, so maybe it would help me hold a pick.
Have a show on Sirius again? I think she has one now.
Does she?
I don't know. One of those country stars. Anyhow,
but
sorry.
Yeah, so Joni Mitchell was saying that she not only had to relearn how to play guitar, she had to relearn how to get up from a chair. Like, get out of bed, like things and some days I need to learn how to do that, and it's because my dog needs walking. But like,
to learn how to get down on a bed. We all know that. Ham drip. 18 episodes ago. Maybe 34. Who's counting?
18 to 34. That's a demo.
Mannerism.
Mannerisms. Mannerisms.
That's a t-shirt.
But
forget.
yeah, FaceTime. But anyway, Joni Mitchell, it was just interesting. I love this. I love seeing, I have a bit in my act about like, I like seeing YouTube videos of like the beauty queen who fell in a fire and had to develop a personality because her face is burned off.
Yeah.
Like, so she is to like, when you're stripped away of this thing that you totally depend on all the time, like what are you capable of? Learning a new face? I don't know.
Well, no, it's like my asshole, like going through fissures and everything. I had to become a new man.
Did you have to like, is there ever been anything like that for you where, I think it's maybe even like death, like where you're like,
Getting
I count
stabbed.
on my spouse to always be there. And then all of a sudden, and it's like, obviously that's the worst thing to happen, but you have to relearn.
Oh, relearn?
Like you just take things, it's about taking things for granted, I guess.
think panic attacks are like mini.
Granted.
Panic attacks are like mini like restarts of like, I'm going to die. And then you're like, okay, I got to do these things. Like they're like things, like little mini ones, you know?
Girls Trip, we were talking about
Panic?
anxiety about like Anya's like,
So how
my
was
hand
that?
hurts a little
Oh.
bit. And
That's
she's
cancer,
like,
stage 7.
yeah, she goes, and then she goes, it's not like,
yeah.
I know we've talked about this before, but I'm so grateful I don't have that thing of like my head hurts and I go tumor. I just go, my head probably just hurts right now. It's going to go away. I mean, I almost have the opposite of it of like, it'll go, it's fine. And then.
You ever hear that old joke where the guy goes, he goes to a doctor, he goes, I'm in so much pain. I touch myself here, it hurts. I touch myself here, it hurts. I touch myself
You have
here.
a broken finger.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like kind of a metaphor for something.
Something out there.
It's a.
So Anya goes to like something.
Well, a lot of the girls on the trip were
Neurological?
saying that it was like they struggle with that of like a little cough and they go, I have lung cancer, or like I see like a little floater and it's like, okay, or my eye
Alzheimer's.
twitches. It's ASL. Yes,
I used to do that.
ASL, American Sign Language. No, I meant ALS. Wait, no, that's
ALS,
American Language Sign. No, ALS. Yeah, ASL.
Gehrig's disease.
My eye twitches and I'm like, I'm learning sign language.
I think this might be a symptom, whatever just
I
happened
kind of
there.
want to learn sign language. I think it's like a. Well, that's loud and clear.
No, that's not it. It's not what you think.
What if
You
the
don't know
middle
what it
finger
is.
in sign language was like
Well, this in England means fuck you too, which is interesting.
peace sign turned around?
Like
Because
this.
we do peace signs with the palm forward.
Oh, maybe this is fine. This is not good anymore.
I just feel like there's something there. It almost.
Someone
I
just
will
gets
say
a
there's
snapshot of me like
my
that.
desire to suddenly learn sign language, which has been about for like a year and a half now. This creeping, like whenever I see it online, I watch it and I'm just fascinated by it. That makes me think something's going to happen to my voice. Because why would I all of a sudden feel this urge to like prepare? It's almost like I'm a prepper. Like I need to get beef jerky and stuff because something's going to happen. Like I feel like I might fall in a fire and then you inhale flames and your fucking vocal cords are burned. And for me, that would be my guitar, like my voice, obviously.
Your hands would be fine when you fall in a fire. But just your vocal
No,
cords
because
are
the girl that fell in the fire on YouTube, she did fall face first and I think her hands were fine because she just passed out. She was just on a diet and
Woman
didn't eat
loses
enough.
voice by falling in fire.
Yes, and face and
What
chest.
did you get from Anya though? Like, what was her conclusion about fearing that her hands won't
I don't
work
think
anymore?
she had a did she have one, Noah? I think she was just like struggling with it. And I was just I guess my conclusion was I was grateful of all the things that I struggle with jumping to conclusions of
Yeah.
I'm going to die because I am going to die. And I just don't I do know that.
Oh, it's so much better when you don't. I used to
sucks
have
that you
numbness
have to
here
die.
when I'd sleep. Like this.
You're radially along
keep
your
showing stuff,
hand and
So
your
describe
arm.
it.
And then this would go numb, just this L. And it started in
The
college.
L inside his hand, like if you're making like
I've told
a
you this
loser
story.
symbol, like the L, like along the L.
And I
would
told
hurt.
you this story where I was in the fraternity and I wasn't hazing the kid bad, but and he blew his nose in the dark and some of it went in my mouth.
Oh.
And from there, I go, this guy fucks a lot of girls. I'm starting to get radial numbness. This is where I get my AIDS from.
I get it, man.
No, but like that brain is insane. Like
You
but-
sound like you're having a mannerism.
and then like having the numbness and then living with that and then asking my dad. I checked my. I
So
thought
nice
I
to have
had
a
cancer
doctor
on my
dad
balls.
when you have that.
Not when you ask him to touch your cock to see if you have cancer.
Did he touch your penis?
I was like, why for so long?
Why for so long? Why do you need to tug it?
Somehow the cum helps me get rid of the cancer, Dad?
Well, he uses it for the medicines he makes. Dad,
Wait,
why
do you
do
think
need
my
to swallow
dad
it?
has like dead snakes that he uses?
I don't know. I'm just thinking of what a guy would
Hey,
tell.
he uses real medicine, Nikki. Dr.
yeah.
Collin, he's not practicing anymore.
What was your takeaway from Girls Weekend now that we've had like a day to process?
Oh yeah.
And
I
stuff?
mean, I barely had a day because I was in the. Did you had flight delays too, right?
Oh my God. The travel part was the worst thing in the world for me, but
Noah
totally
left
worth
at 4
it.
in the morning.
For
After
3 days.
2 hours
So
of
we stayed up
sleep.
till like 2.5 hours. We stayed up till 2:30, and then I couldn't
What's
sleep.
the bedding situation? Is everyone just sleeping on the
Dude,
floor
hell no.
camp?
No, Saralina's house.
How many rooms?
I'm
is
not
it?
kidding you. Every room is besides 2. Like I'm in the third best room, and it's like
Wait, why are you third best?
because it's third best. It still looks like a master bedrest.
So how we picked? How do we pick straws?
we just kind of just were like because we had to double up in beds, but they were all like king or queen beds, and we love sleeping together anyway.
Yeah.
And
I love sleeping in a bed with another man on one of those kind of trips.
it's so fun.
You feel protected somehow more.
I don't mind it. And all of the friends that I sleep with sleep like little like sarcophagi. Like they don't like they're not splaying out
Yeah.
like gross. They're just all very quiet. They all like white noise. They all wear sleep masks. We're all like girls who like take care of ourselves. So we're all just like peaceful like and this house was insane. I talked about it on yesterday's podcast, but it is insane how nice it is, and just the way it's decorated. Like it was a nightmare for me because spray tan, and like I can't touch
everything was
anything because
white.
it's all white. Everything is white,
White or
and beige.
Yeah, Hampton's houses are a lot like they.
Oh my God.
Like they're like it's a summer feel.
Relax.
Yeah,
and you're like,
relax.
but don't sit on any furniture.
Yeah.
I mean,
have to say,
I'm putting
though,
a towel down now.
I was thinking about it, and Saralina was such a gracious host because when
The
you
best.
have 8 people in your house that you designed and you put so much effort into and everything is brand new, she did not give a shit about us
a
leaving our
fuck.
stuff around, how we like used things. Not once did I see her getting annoyed. She is
Not
wonderful.
once.
She did
Wait
not
till her husband
care.
comes
Insane.
home. And
He's cool
No,
too,
I know.
though.
No, I'm kidding. Like making him like a monster.
It is actually wild how chill she is. Like every single piece of furniture she has is like top
Real
notch.
top- yeah.
Like really well designed. She picked it out. Like and she didn't care at all. All her towels had so much orange all over them. She did not care. She didn't care. There was crap everywhere. And like when you walked in this place, it was immaculate. I don't even know where she puts her stuff. I was like, where are your things? She started opening cabinets, and like the cabinet would be completely clear, and then there would be a bin with things in it. But I'm like, the bin was even organized. Like the bin was tucked away in an organized way. It was so nice, I would say. And then we left. So Noah left at 4 a.m. And then you got to
Carlisle.
the airport and you had like so many delays.
The pilot was late. He was stuck in traffic. So of course, first the flight was delayed initially. For some reason, they board us on the plane and they kept us waiting an hour and a half on a plane. There was no air conditioning. They didn't
You're
give
just
us
breathing
anything to drink.
in jet fumes. Yes.
There's something about a pilot being like he's hungover. He left too late to get to his
Yeah, it
flight.
just humanizes your pilot in a
Yeah.
way that you're like, I don't need that.
Yeah, remember we had that the one time we were on the
Yes.
flight and some guy that had to check out the engine. They're like, oh, there's only one guy in town. And we're like, what the fuck?
And you're like, I don't want to hear that he has a gender, a name. Like, I want it to be machine. Like, I want it to be.
A machine.
Yes.
I wasn't
don't
upset
want
at
a
the
name to be-
pilot. I would never be upset at anyone who's like running late because I know
Yes.
how tense that is, especially if it's to work.
Yes.
What I was upset about was like, why didn't you just like let us off the plane, wait at the gate again, and then scan us back in? Just
Totally. You know what? I am upset at pilots, and I seriously want to make a statement. Why do you not alert us more of updates about what is going on?
Yeah.
Why do we have to wait 45 minutes for each update? I don't even care if the update is there's no new updates. Stop just sitting up there in silence. Stop telling us, and I've said this before, no one needs to know the temperature, where we land, the direction of the speed,
Grand Canyon is.
or the wind speed. We don't need to know anything else except when are we going to leave, when are we going to land, and then when they're delayed, no one tells you what the new landing time is. You have to pull up your app and find it. I don't care about takeoff time. I want to know when I land because now we're delayed and I have to do fucking math and then I have to subtract time zones. The simplest shit that we need to know. Pilots, some pilot write to me. Why are you not telling us more updates? And I know you're like, because we don't have updates. Tell us then that we don't have updates. Be a cool pilot.
The update, no update.
Right? Like
I
saying,
like
hey
update,
guys,
yeah.
we're still waiting on updates. This is frustrating for us as well. Like I've heard pilots say that before. Yesterday, the guy at LaGuardia was like, he didn't say clusterfuck, but he goes, you know, I appreciate your patience for the clusterfuck that is LaGuardia Airport. He didn't say clusterfuck, but he said the nightmare of travel that is LaGuardia Airport. Like he acknowledged it. I know you have the ability to do that without getting fired. Let us know what's going on. And by the way, when there's turbulence and you are not updating us of like how it is for you up there, I don't have stress when there's turbulence, but everyone else on the, like I would say 50% of people on a plane have extreme fear of dying in a plane crash, yet they're still traveling. Have a little empathy for those people and let them know when there's turbulence that everything's okay. Because when there is silence and there's nothing coming from the pilot and it's getting very bumpy in the back and you warned us about turbulence an hour ago, it might be a bumpy flight, or you just go, flight attendants, take your seats. And like that is not enough, because then when it gets really bumpy, I'm picturing you up there going, oh my God, oh my God. So just get over the thing and just go, ladies and gentlemen, this is very average. Like, don't worry about it. Everything's fine. Like, give us something. What prevents you from giving people peace of mind when you know as a pilot that things are not going to go in a, and if you do crash and you've lied to us and say we're not going to crash, we're all going to die. No one's going to hold you accountable for that. Just fucking lie to us. Why? I don't understand. If there was an airline that communicated all the time with its passengers, they would get more people flying than any other one, because the rest of them don't communicate at all. And the people at the desks working the counter, I know you deal with rude people all the time. But the way you are able to completely ignore people who are standing right in front of you, even though I know you can see me in your periphery, is fucking expert, mind-boggling, disassociative, psychopathic behavior. And I want to understand how that develops over time, and how, I mean, it's just, yesterday I was telling Anya about my 5-hour delayed flight, which it's fine. I understand planes don't work. People don't show up. But here's the problem, and my final statement on this. You don't let us know that you don't know when the plane is going to take off. But when my plane is not even, it says we're going to take off at 2:30, and then now it's 3, and it still says 2:30 on the board. Well, I don't feel safe going to get a sandwich or something to feed myself, because the plane still says it's taking off any second now. It actually says it took off
an hour and a half ago. Yeah, it's up in the air.
And they won't update it. They won't actually put it to like, okay, it's delayed till 5, and it's 4 o'clock, so I have time. No, it's every time we go past the time, then it will jump to 15 minutes before. It was infuriating. And so I couldn't eat all day because I couldn't leave the gate area. So 5 hours I'm waiting. I'm tethered to this fucking gate. It was so rude. And I wrote to Anya, I was complaining about it, and then she sent me a text back that said air travel is rape. Nikki was the quote. And I was like, when did I say that? Oh, I said all air travel is rape. And she said probably 2014. And I'm like, it is. It's just, they can just take advantage of us. They know we can't do anything. We are at their fucking, and I know the people behind it are nice people just trying to make a living, but please, a pilot or someone who works for the airlines, let me know why there is no communication to passengers, because that is what causes us to lose our minds and scream at you, because you're shunning us. Cutting someone out, giving them the silent treatment is not the way to run a business.
But it is how Nikki Glaser is running for mayor. Get behind her right here on the screen.
Vote
you'll
for
see.
me,
Vote
and that's all I'm going to say, because I'm not going to talk to you because I know how well it works.
The other candidate was a pilot who fucking didn't say anything.
I just cannot handle it anymore. But you don't have a choice. That's the thing. They have a monopoly
what
on
are you gonna do? Take
getting
a bus?
places fast.
What are you going to take a train? There's no fast trains.
No.
Get some fucking fast trains.
Chugga, 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 chugga. We got to take a break. We'll be right back. Andrew!
Coming in now.
Welcome back to the show. I feel better after I got that out. I was usually someone who doesn't complain about air travel, but man, it got to me yesterday. It was a long,
especially
day.
after a nice trip. Like that's almost when it's worse.
Yes,
because you want to go in. It's kind of like when you take the subway in New York after having like a good show or a nice dinner, and then a guy's
screaming, and there's a piss puddle that's making its way down,
and all that happiness is gone. That's the thing when
and being alone too, just being around 8 girls all weekend, and then all of a sudden I'm alone at a gate with just a bunch of people going to St. Louis, and I go, God, St. Louis is full of ugly people. And I'm just like, I just came from the Hamptons.
You're so
I'm like,
Hampton.
This is the ugliest group. Like every single gate was going somewhere else, and I could see like what those people looked like. And my gate, I was like, St. Louis, boy, we need to step it up. No offense to ugly people. I'm one many days of my life. I have some tour dates coming up in the fall. If you want to come see me, Las Vegas, Sarasota, Florida, West Palm Beach, Florida, Oklahoma City, Tulsa, New York. New York, I would really like you guys to come see at the Beacon. I just was there last week taking some video to promote those shows. And the Beacon Theater is a big old theater. So I would love if you could buy tickets to that and come see me in New York City. It would be awesome. And then fucking a lot of European dates.
Yeah.
My tour dates.
I can't wait for your travel in Europe and what that's going to be like.
Well, I did it's going to be like 13 cities in like 12 days. I don't even understand what my schedule is, but I'm going to Tel Aviv, and I did an interview with the guy from there.
Did you tell them that
journalist?
Word? Did you give them that
Sababa.
word? Yeah. Did they flip
Noah gave
out?
me a word, Sababa, to say, and I go, you know what? It's all. I just really want to get into like the culture and like just your way of life, Sababa. And he was like, yes, Sababa. He was excited. Is that right?
all you have to do is know one word. And they're like, you are.
I always feel
Thank
so
you so
pandering
much.
when I know one word.
Yeah, of course, because they're like, what else? Sababa again.
Yeah.
Sababa more.
Yeah, and it does sound like a brand of hummus.
Do you mind if I say a few things with my dates? By
sure.
any chance? Because I've never headlined before, and now I have 8 dates, and now I'm like freaking out that no one's gonna go. So please come. Nashville, St. Louis, Austin, Indy, Buffalo, Raleigh, Philly.
And it's all the where can
It'll
we
all
check
be
those?
on AndrewCollinComedy.com. The dates aren't up yet because I haven't got the links, but they will be up. I promise.
Is it the summer?
It's August 30th, October 6th. Well, yeah, it's August through January. So,
Nice.
anyhow, that will be fun.
Yes.
I'm already sweating.
Go check out tour dates at both of our websites and support our comedy. That would be awesome. Come see us live and then meet us after the shows.
Yeah.
Yet, in terms of these European cities, I have never been to. Okay, I'm going to Helsinki. Never been, but very excited. Oslo, so freaking excited for Oslo because I'm obsessed with The Worst Person in the World, the movie, and that is shot there. And I think I'm only in Oslo for one night, and then I got to go to Stockholm the next night. But man, I think I want to go back to Oslo. Oslo from that movie, which I cannot stop watching.
Oh, you've seen it more than once now?
Dude, I've watched it probably full, like, because I just watched different scenes over and over.
That's my one
movie.
regret that we didn't get to watch it this weekend.
I'm so mad we didn't get to watch it because Taylor was like, no, I don't want to watch this movie. I hate movies. I only like documentaries. No, ew, carrots are stupid. She hates carrots and movies. Any fictional movie. And I'm like, bitch, you introduced me to The Labyrinth when I was like in high school and made me watch The Labyrinth because it was a childhood favorite of yours. What kind of magic spell do you use? Slime or snails, puppy dog tails. Anyway, yeah, that was my biggest regret too because that movie, I made Sarah Lena watch it with me last week. The Worst Person in the World. It's on Hulu streaming right now. You can watch it. And you can watch it, like, you take your time. Like, I think you even said, like, I watched half of it. And I think most people I've talked to have been,
I
like,
watched
done
the
in
whole
chapters.
thing. I've watched the whole thing now, but yeah.
Right. But, like, take your, like, if you need to.
Well,
like,
it's subtitled, just letting people know.
Right,
it is a
subtitled.
book. I know that's not a big thing to you, but some people, they see subtitles and they get
Yes,
very...
I didn't know that I had to warn people about that because I got a couple people being like, you didn't tell me it was subtitled. And I'm like, I didn't know I had to. I didn't know that was a thing you had to warn people of.
You got to send a text, let them read it.
Man, it is so freaking good. You haven't seen it yet, Noah, right?
No.
Oh my God. Well,
I just
will
wanted
you
to watch
try
it
to watch
together.
I know. Well, I'll watch it with you if you want to do like a Hulu stream fest because
Really?
I can't stop watching it. It's so freaking good. I have it almost
Do you
memorized
watch
at this point.
from start to
In-
finish again, or do you
in Norwegian.
start to Norwegian?
No, you know what?
Finish?
I for a while I was just going back to certain scenes because it is erotic, and there are certain scenes that, and it's so. I cried so hard and during it
Yeah, I
in a
cried
way
at
that
the
was
end.
like beautiful, that it felt like this is allowing me to like get out feelings, not in a way that makes me feel depressed the next day. But I will say I felt hungover. I've watched it 2 times fully, but the rest of the times I've just watched scenes over and over. Both times I felt hungover the next day because of like how much emotion it stirred in me. Because it's just, I don't know why it's so freaking good. How did you feel about it?
I mean, as someone that's dating someone considerably younger,
Yes.
it obviously hit close to home.
Yes. Without giving too much away.
Yeah,
yes.
without giving too much away. But I thought it was extremely well done. I think it's hard to like her character at times, like Fleabag.
Much like humans.
Yeah.
That's what I liked about it, is that the protagonist, you're like, do I like her or not? Do I like this? There's one character that says, or she says at one point, I think, I feel like I'm the supporting role of the story of my life.
Yeah.
And I liked that because you can really relate to every single supporting role in that movie too. Like you find yourself being like, oh, I'm like the boyfriend. Oh, I'm like the other guy. Oh, I'm like her. And her relationship with her dad, her relationship with herself, really. Like I said this last time I talked about it, but like I feel like everyone can relate to this girl, and I think the reviews that came out about it that were negative were mostly from men, I believe, to be honest with you, saying that it's like, how could this woman be so indecisive and not know what she wants? Because there's this one part, and this isn't giving anything away, but you know, her and her boyfriend are talking about kids, and she's like, I just don't know. Like she's 30 and he's quite a bit older, and she's like, he wants kids, and she's like, I want kids too, but like not yet. And he's like, well, what haven't you done yet that you need to have kids? And she's like, I don't know. And he's like, well, let's figure it out so we can do it, so we can have kids. And she's like, I don't know what it is. And it's like, I have never related to a statement more in my life of like, I don't want this, but I don't know why I don't want it. And I don't.
You can't
like,
verbalize it. You don't know
just-
exactly.
And you don't know what you.
It's like a pilot in an airplane, and he doesn't know what update.
Yeah. It's like the weather patterns in your city that you're
Yeah,
landing
no,
in.
it
You
is
can't
hard.
really
It sucks because
articulate
someone
it.
wants an answer, and what else could you say? Like, do you want something more specific from me?
Well, I think some people want, you know, especially with the kid thing, it's
Yeah.
like, I want to travel more. I want to write a book.
I want to know what I'm doing with my career. She didn't know. That was her. That was
she
a
couldn't
big thing
even
with
say
her.
that, and
Yeah.
she didn't really even. And there was another thing of, you know, she is. This is in the first scene of the movie, so it's not giving literally anything away. But she's someone who just like picks different careers and just keeps shifting, which I really relate to. Of like, I'll do this now. Now I'm going to do this. No, this is who I am. And she says, and even this was another criticism from reporter, or like one review I read
Some
where she
dude
chooses
on
to
Reddit,
finally
yeah.
be a photographer, and then they're like, but it doesn't even, we don't even see her get into the art of it. We just see her hooking up with people she's photographing. So it's just like making everything sexual for this woman. It's just like, no, because a lot of times you pick this thing that you're like, I love photography. This is what I really care about. And then you do it and you're like, this isn't it either. But
Yeah.
you know what? I can't switch careers anymore. I'm just going to stick with it.
And how many shows? What do you want her in a black room?
It's just-
Is it a dark room? I mean, a black
Yeah.
room, a dark room, being like, oh, I figured out the contrast, and then that's a whole fucking scene. That's
I don't
10
like
minutes of the
being
movie.
mansplained why movies aren't feminist enough.
Yeah.
Like that is so weird to me. But and even someone did there was a paste review of my special that I just sent to Anya because I knew it was negative and I didn't want to read it. And she read it and she just sent me like, you know, she was just like, ugh, this girl. The review was, the headline was, Nikki Glaser's Good Clean Filth isn't messy enough, which I freaking loved because my complaint with my special, which is on HBO Max right now, I'd love if you watched it, even if you've seen it already, just stream it and walk out of the room and put it on mute and it'll still count for a view. My complaint was that it was too messy. It wasn't like the jokes weren't tight enough. The setups, like I was a little bit too loose for my style of comedy, but that's just what I was feeling that night. And that's fine. And it's it actually turned out great in that way. But that was my biggest complaint, was that it was too messy. And then she said it wasn't messy enough. Anya said her point was, this girl is perfect and she's lying about being gross. And she's lying about...
But that was the whole dichotomy of dressing like that and being gross.
Yeah.
In a pretty outfit.
Yeah. So I didn't read it, so I can't exactly say, but Anya was like, this girl is just very jealous of you, which I honestly, I relate to, being jealous of people that come off as like so coiffed. And I was very coiffed. Spray tan, full hair and makeup, Versace vintage dress that fit me to a T, cool boots, like...
But that made it interesting to me. What next one? You're going to be in garbage and you're going to fucking talk about North Korea?
Well, I just need to be more of a female comic that wears, just like what I wear. What I need to dress like John Caparulo. It's like, no, I don't. It's right. It was so. I didn't read it, so I can't actually say. But it was just, and it's also nice.
Going.
Like anyone who good press is bad press, or bad whatever. Bad press is good press. So I'll take it.
Bad sentence is good sentence.
But it's nice that when you get insulted for something, it's nice where someone goes, like it's on a day
it's
like
if
where
someone told me I was too tall.
You're too fit.
I'm too fit.
Yeah,
Oh,
yes. And you go, oh my
really?
God.
Because I don't feel that at all.
Like seriously, you're too tall and
Yeah.
you're like going to hit your head on our ceiling, so you can't come in here. And you're like, oh, great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Why do you have such a short house?
This reminds me of when you were on Seth Meyers last week. You looked so stunning. I loved your outfit.
Oh, thanks.
And you sat there and
I
like
did that myself.
The basis of your joke was that you and Seth look like the Nelson twins or something.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that.
Yes, Andrew. Wait, who was it? You who discovered that first?
Unfortunately, I told you, but yeah.
Yeah, you told me that I looked like the Nelson twins, and then we
Just
pulled up
one
a
of
picture,
them.
and it was on any given day.
You don't know.
But it was so fun to have two people that look the same,
Oh,
and that
dude,
we
that
both
was
have blonde
classic.
hair, and it was.
You
such
know
a
what
good-
my favorite part about that was, which was so Nikki to me?
What?
Is he put it back down on the desk, and then you grabbed it because you knew that it had to be shown longer.
Yes, it has to be shown with
and I was
us.
like, this
You're the
is
best.
so Nikki
I'm
to
like,
grab
I love it. I'm like-
to know exactly.
I'm like, Seth, this joke
yeah,
isn't
you're
done.
not doing it
We
right,
need
Seth.
this.
Yeah, dude.
And I'm mad that we smiled, because in the picture they're not smiling, and I wish I would have looked at the picture better. But I came up with that idea like 5 minutes before the show
And they just
started.
went and printed it out?
Yes,
course
like
you
old
did.
school Letterman.
Of course.
Yeah, it's cool.
You're so good
Yeah,
at that.
so that was really fun. Like I love
He
Seth
seemed to be
Meyers
very
so much.
tickled by you. He's extremely great interviewer.
He's so nice.
He matches people's energies
Yes,
so
and
well.
he's so like there's a casualness to talking to him that is. I was more comfortable doing that show than maybe anyone I've ever done. Even podcasts where you're like alone with a person, but his audience, they're really far away, like further than you would think. And also on that show, the craziest thing is the director, Alex Wiedemeyer, and then his stage manager, Tom, I forget his last name.
Tom?
They both started on that show in around, I think when Seth Meyers started, 2013, or maybe they came on a little bit after that. But they were both my director and my stage manager on Nikki and Sarah Live, which was my first
Really?
TV show. And so they left, I think, right after we got canceled, or maybe shortly before. And Tom was like, we did Nikki and Sarah Live. Like, it was so terrifying. It was the first TV show I ever had. I'm hosting. Sarah and I are in Times Square with the TRL window behind us, and we are going live.
That's like my
which
nightmare.
No shows
Yeah,
do
that's
that.
the scariest
I don't even
thing.
know why we did it.
So scary.
And so
Just going to Times Square, I can't even be myself
yes.
because it's just such a fucking energy mind fuck. Every day you had to do that. So anyway,
not every day. It was,
but you know what I mean.
Yes,
Like,
but it was once a week, and but Tom was like our stage manager, and he was the guy that was like, did the countdown, came up to us right before. I mean, he's the dude on set who we are communicating with, and he was so gentle and so kind, and so I just loved him so much. And so I got to see him at Seth Meyers, and then who stops by my room? It's Alex Wiedemeyer, who is the director, who is just also so freaking awesome and such a sweet, warm, compassionate, cool guy. And like, it felt like a little bit of a homecoming. And then there's Seth Meyers, who looks like me, and he came back and was just so nice. And I've hung out with him socially a little bit. I think I went to ScarJo and Colin's Christmas party one year. I got to talk to him there, and then he stopped by Amy's when I was there in the Hamptons, and so we've hung out a little bit. So, and Amy's wedding, I saw him, and there's a great picture of us together. But he was just so he was so nice, and it was really fun to come up with like Chris was there, and my publicist was in the green room with me, and we were just brainstorming things to like jokes to tell and things to do on the show, and it was ended up being so much freaking fun and easy. And
how do you feel when you go out there? Because you killed it. You had a lot of jokes. Do you feel? How do you prepare for something like that? And do you want to get to your jokes more than like I don't know like. Kind of walk through because I don't think people don't really know what's going on backstage and like.
So like 3 or 4 days before you do the show, you talk to a producer and they just say, "Hey, do you have anything?" Like usually with comedians, I mean, the guy that I talked to, I forget his what was his name? Oh, he was so nice. I'm sorry, I forgot your name. You were awesome. Such a good producer. I mean, that's why the segment shines is when I have good producers. There's a woman, Rachel at Conan, that would always produce my segments. But you talk with a producer. They kind of ask you if you have anything. And generally they come to the table with a bunch of ideas because they've scoured your Instagram. They've read every interview you're doing. They kind of like look for funny things that you can maybe talk about. And
that's the thing with like New York compared to anywhere else is like, oh, they're going to do their homework. Like this is their job.
Yes.
Like they treat it like the biggest job on earth to go through your Instagram. Like that's how New York is. Like they are fucking prepared.
Well,
so yeah,
LA too. Like even when I did the talk, the producer at the talk too was also awesome. She was like, "Okay, we found this one photo on your Instagram of you and your," and I'm like, "That was from years ago. Like, how did you find that?" And then just they come up with ideas, and then I go, "Actually, that one's not great, but you know what? It makes me think of is this other story I can tell." And so I start going through kind of like my act because I also David Spade I think is one of the best talk show guests there is, and I've noticed through the years that he incorporates stuff from his special, even the special they're promoting. He'll just do jokes from that in person. He even gave me the advice. He was like, if you can't show a clip from your special, just say, instead of showing a clip, let me just do the joke for you and just take over and do the joke. And really what it's about, I find, is like having good jokes. I don't like going into talk shows and just being like, oh, I'll just tell you an anecdote. Like I need to have the boom, ba-da-boom, ba-da-boom. Like I need to have the punchlines to get me out of it. Interesting stories are fine, but that's what sets me apart from a Demi Lovato or a Alison Brie is that I actually have punchlines and I know how to tell a very succinct, like punchy story. And I think that I also realize that talk show hosts, as someone who's been one before, you love when a guest just like you can just kind of like put on the what's the
autopilot?
Button you push auto drive. What is it called? Drive
drone?
When you drive.
Cruise control.
Cruise control. And you can kind of just let them go, set them up and let them go. And so I used to think that they would be upset because I'm trying to take over their show or something. But then I realized they do this every fucking day, and usually they're interviewing musicians and actors who don't have the ability to do what I do. And so it's nice once in a while to just let someone just take the ball and just go for it.
Reminded me of like
assist.
when Rodney Dangerfield would sit.
I thought you were going to say Rodney King.
A little bit. I
That
felt
too.
beaten down after watching it. But, by more cops. But anyhow, it was cool though. I really liked it. No, it's very punchy, Rodney King. No, Rodney Dangerfield would sit and Carson would just let him fucking go.
That's the ones I like to watch. I like to watch people get set up for just jokes or like a story that they are telling for the first time on there. Like I'd never told the first pitch story before.
Oh, dude, that played so well. Yeah. And seeing the throw for the first time, like
forcing and
from that angle, you actually did throw bad.
Yeah.
Like it was actually like it wasn't I saw it live. Those were the only 2 times I have ever seen.
I only lived it once and then it was bad and the audience groaned.
It was perfect though, man. That shit's perfect.
It was funny because they were like, do you want to, because I go, I still haven't watched it yet. And he was like, is it okay if we watch it? And I go, I don't want to at all, but I will do anything for entertainment. So that's the only way, which is why I watched my special with my parents for those promo clips that I posted on my Instagram. I didn't want to do that. In a million years, I didn't want to do that. But for the sake of entertainment, I will do pretty much anything. And sometimes it's the only way to get me to do things that I probably need to do, uncomfortable things. Because when you watch yourself do a bad first pitch, when you look at a picture of yourself where you might not be the size you want to be, or you might not, whatever. You force yourself to watch your special, even though you know it's uncomfortable. You learn on the other side of things that it's not that bad. And it's also like so funny.
So funny.
To make fun of yourself.
Maybe a little space, which you threw to the left.
Yeah. I need to think about as much space as there was between
I'll tell
home
you
plate
what.
and where I threw it. From every video of myself doing
Look, from a
embarrassing
little
things.
league field, it would also have been bad.
Oh my God. You and these like misdirects. Listen, once you watch it again.
No, it's because
not-
of Dangerfield. And
I
I'm
know.
like doing my. They're kind of fun.
my
though.
Dr. Vinny Bomb Boone or whatever his name is. Okay, we have to get to the
But
news.
do
Boom,
we?
boom, boom. Yeah.
You heard it here first. Yeah, you heard it here first.
Oh boy, I hope you're having all the swells out there. It's nice to be back in person in here. It's Tuesday, folks. You know what that means. It is definitely Tuesday. Is it? Maybe not. Who
I
knows?
think
Left
it is.
turn,
Left turn.
right turn.
I know one show that Nikki does like to watch that she's involved in, and that's
Oh,
FBoy Island
F-Boy,
episode
baby.
1 through 6 now on HBO Max. If you're
I'm
listening
all
to this
caught
podcast,
up. I love it.
The next 3 episodes, or maybe 4,
It's
I don't
fucking
even know,
good this
are
year.
dropping on Thursday. And if you have not seen it yet, do not think
What
that
are you
you
doing?
can get away with not watching it, because it is not something that takes that long to get. You will get invested in it, and you'll have
addictive.
fun. It's not going to be something that you're like.
Me and Brennan
"Oh,
are
I gotta-"
having a fucking ball watching it.
It's so fun, and I
It's-
don't even being there. We don't know anything that happens, right,
well, now
dude?
the cliffhanger is Peter an
Peter.
F-boy or not, and so I have Brennan going, "What is he? What is he?" And
I know
that's when
we
you know
all
the show's
tried to
good.
get it out of
I know.
Nikki, and she
I-
was
I did
so
not give
good
them
at keeping
anything.
it.
I go, he's Asian.
No,
Left turn.
Left turn. Yeah, it is so captivating. It is so interesting. It's so funny. How funny is that one clip of Nico going, "If she does not hear
You
it
are-
from
yeah,
you
oh.
that you called her a dumb blonde, you will be fucked." Like, there's so many funny things like that. What about on the date with what's his name that was boring? So they just go, "This
Oh, they
date
didn't
was
even
boring.
show it."
We're cutting to the next scene."
Dude, and one of my favorite things that makes me laugh, the boys. It's the songs. and
I like them boys. I like them boys.
Why? What is that
I
song?
think that song was the song originally too of first season. That song started out as, I think, like serious, like they were trying to, and then now it's just so funny because it's so it's
How
so
she
stupid.
says boys is
Them
so...
boys. Oh my God, Kirsten was doing the best Samaras. Like, I don't even know. Like, she was talking like
Who was doing that? Who was
Kirsten
this? Oh,
Samaras.
Kirsten
Of like,
Samaras.
I don't know. Like, Tom's abs. Like, you gotta listen. I'll get her to do it for you. Kirsten's impression of Tamaris is so funny. And how about on the 6th episode? I think maybe on the 5th when Mia has the panic attack.
I mean, and
Can we
then-
give the real details behind that scene for y'all? Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
if
So
you
if
can.
you have seen the
I'm trying to
episode,
remember.
You know the scene at the elimination where
No,
Mia's
I
foot
remember
is
that.
going buck
They had to call
wild,
the paramedic.
and she's just being a little bit like she was already off that night. She was probably underslept, stressed out. She doesn't want to
She looked
send. I think
stressed.
Dwayne home is who she sends. Spoiler alert. Sorry, it really doesn't give. You can still watch the show. It's not going to give anything away. Honestly, Dwayne is an afterthought. What about when Dwayne asked for a hug and she goes, "No"?
No,
that was so
insane.
I
don't
remember
even
that.
remember that
I
in the-
remember that. I remembered it.
I would
Obviously.
think I was looking at my body in the mirror.
You were downstairs with your shirt off in my green room during that. So my green room was at that house where those eliminations are happening, and Andrew is
For
on the
most
premises.
episodes, I'm looking at my body. But
So
wait, what happened? Why did she?
So
I'm trying to
Mia has a
remember.
panic attack that Danny goes down and like helps her through.
Gets in front of the
the
EMTs.
reason I know, like
That's what
pushes
people are
that guy
making
to the side. The reason that she and I, the reasons are always like dozens of reasons creating this situation, but I did not know. So when I do the elimination, Kirsten, I think, or someone asked me, like, do you have cue cards? And I don't have cue cards. I have a earpiece in, and the producers are telling me what to say, and then I go, there's a loose script, and then we, then I just like kind of ad lib stuff along the way. But that's how we run the show, is that there's someone in my ear. And at the end of that scene, it was to the point where we were just about to reveal who's an F-boy, who's a nice guy. Everyone's going to reveal their status. I think it was the episode before that. So we needed to kind of do a final tally of like, Louise, you've eliminated this many F boys and this many nice guys. Tamaris, this many F boys, this many nice guys. Now Tamaris eliminated all F boys at this point. Louise eliminated like mostly F boys, and Mia, I think maybe all nice guys she eliminated.
Yeah.
And the show is about, if the girl, so what the premise is, if the girl at the end chooses an F-boy, which she can do because by the end they do know the status of everyone. If she chooses an F-boy, she's taking a risk because all the money will go to him and he will decide whether or not he splits it with her or takes it all for himself. And if they choose a nice guy, they definitely split the money. So you're trying to eliminate F-boys because these guys are guys that came into the show. Yes, maybe they can change by the end, but it's not likely. It's way more safe to choose a nice guy. And it's safe for your heart too, even though F-boys are so attractive for whatever reason. So when I established at the end, Bill Dixon's in my ear saying like, or whoever, Sam Dean is saying like, let's just go through and say how many F-boys each girl eliminated just to reset. It wasn't about like shaming like, Mia, you idiot. You only eliminated this many, F-boys. It was just to set it up. But Mia, I think, was in a state that night that was vulnerable. And when I said, and Mia, you've eliminated all nice guys.
Yeah.
I think it made her feel like I was shaming her, which I understand completely after the fact. I was like, oh, I'm just like repeating a voice in my head. I'm not thinking about the context of this, how she's already feeling so upset. And she was already a little off that night. And so I walk off, and then all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose because she's having a panic attack. And I found out the next day it was because of me. And I'm so glad that they didn't keep it in. But apparently she was saying, why would she say that? Why would she say that? And I go, because Bill Dixon told me to. And honestly, and Bill didn't have any nefarious needs
Also,
in me saying that either. We weren't trying to give it.
That
We were
just
just
shows
stating.
you how like she got so enthralled in it. Like she forgot that it was a TV show and the cameras were there and
Yes.
stuff. So maybe she just didn't even see that this whole process was happening. That's how much emotions she
Yeah.
was
Also, she
invested in
knows
it.
she's liking the F boys. I mean, it's a real thing. I mean,
And
I think you
I
have
said to
to
her the
look
next
like,
day, yeah.
yeah, you have to look like, oh my god, I can't believe it. It's like, yeah, but that's who you knew what Peter was before. You knew,
Yes.
like you had an idea.
And she even said, I think it may have been her, and early on was like, I don't care if they're an F boy. I'm still gonna go. Like, it
Yeah,
doesn't
I'm
matter.
gonna change 'em.
And for me, if I was a girl playing this game, I wouldn't care who is a nice guy and who like I would just I think that I can switch anyone, and I know these girls feel the same way. Like
Depends
I
what
almost
kinda-
won an F boy, so I can prove that I flipped one.
I guess it depends if I could pay rent. My money situation
That's a good
going
point.
in.
Yeah.
I think. I would definitely go for a good girl just so I can make sure I get the 50 grand.
But there's a really fun episode coming up where we do this challenge where these boys are kind of put under in a pressure situation where they have to answer questions or they have to do this thing, and that
You know
causes
what I
them
thought was
pain.
cool?
What?
That I didn't. Nico getting drunk. Did you see that?
What do you mean?
He got hammered and he was trying to talk to Tamaris, and I didn't realize that was one of the reasons why she also eliminated him.
Oh, I didn't.
I never knew
I
that
didn't
when
know
we
that
were there.
either. Oh, I didn't see that scene. Maybe I was going in the bathroom or something. Do
Oh,
you
he
remember
was
that,
hammered
Noah?
and he was like cross-eyed.
I vaguely-
And Nico's and that
Nico's
and
so
and
cute
he was
and,
trying
like,
to
such a-
apologize, but he was just coming off.
That's why. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense because I was wondering why is Tamara so upset with Nico that he is not standing up for her instead of I forget who he was upset with at the
Well, he stood up for Kylan when
Kylan.
Kylan said that she was a kissing
yes
booth.
a kissing machine.
Which-
Louise was confused of what was said about her. She was like, "I'm not a kissing machine," and it was just like, "Wait, see what's happening here?" Because a kissing booth is like literally a 1950s throwback. Like, who the fuck knows what a kissing booth is? So, but what I do want to say, the next challenge, the next day after Mia's panic attack, we have like this challenge. And I hear that, like, I'm like, oh no, Mia's like mad at me and thinks that I was like trying to like get her and
Yeah.
like make her feel bad, which it was never no one's intent
There's
on the
so
show.
many
ever.
other things like that on the show.
But I
Just
went up
kidding.
to her right afterwards, or like
Kidding.
right before the challenge that you'll see on the next episode. And I was like, Mia, listen, I am so freaking sorry that, like, I don't even know what I said. I was just repeating what was said to me. And I don't give a fuck what you do, girl. Like, I don't care if you eliminate F-boys or nice guys. It doesn't matter to me. I have no judgment. If I were you, I'd be eliminating all nice guys because gross. They're like too trusted. And so it was good for us because we had a moment where it was like, I got to be like real with her and be like, listen, this show is stupid. It's nothing matters. let's have fun. I will never ever try to make you feel bad or try to like shame you for any of this process, because I don't think there's any, I know that it is very like fraught, like, oh my God, are they going to choose an F-boy or a nice guy? But like, I didn't think Sarah was dumb last year for choosing Garrett. I don't have any judgment on these people, because, and neither should you watching it, because you don't know what it's like being there. You don't know what it's like to eat, sleep, and breathe boys. And everyone you talk to talks to you about boys, and you don't have a cell phone, and you don't have TV, and you don't have
sleep.
You are like sleeping little hours, because I mean, you sleep. All you do is sleep and talk about boys. That's all you get to do, and be in hair and makeup.
And you don't have phone or internet. Unless
no phone
the
or internet.
producers
I mean,
give it
that
to
is
you.
insane. You don't. Sometimes they would give them like a DVD player, like with like just a screen and a DVD player, and they could watch like.
And you don't see
you
the
know, Kangaroo
F-boys
Jack.
their bodies in person.
You
Because
don't
God,
see.
are they fucking
And
glistening
when
and
you're
hot.
on this island
They're
where these
so
guys.
hot. It's ridiculous.
And Peter comes in, and everyone's like, "Why does Mia like Peter so much? He's famous, dude,
And he's gorgeous.
She watched him last season
in person,
and I
and
kept
on
telling
TV.
all these.
But he's
he
like
is gorgeous.
gorgeous man.
And I
These
told
are
all
all-
these girls, listen, or I told the guys, I'm like, and I think I told the girls too. The reason you're attracted to Peter so much, Mia, is because you have familiarity with him, which is how I feel about celebrities. Like, I get so nervous with new people, but if I am able to stalk them on the internet or watch their interviews on a podcast, I feel like I already know them, and I want to date them more. And I think that people would say like,
And Peter got a lot of airtime on the first season.
yes, he did.
Even
and so,
as getting voted first.
I told all the guys, stop being jealous of Peter. You're all gonna be him next season. Like, you have been on this show. Like, he just has one episode more than you, kind of. So just chill out. And it is interesting though, because
the Garrett and Peter fight. I remember being there and hearing about it.
oh my God, and that was so fun to watch.
It was. It reminded me of like a Zoolander skit.
Garrett was so ridiculous, and I was proud of Peter for standing up to that gigantic tower of a man and almost getting punched, honestly.
Yeah.
And it would have been bad because Peter is much smaller than Garrett. Who, Noah, would you be into on F-Boy Island if you were a contestant? I think we all asked all my girlfriends in on like, who do you think? Is Brenna clearly into someone and being like and rooting for someone? Can you get a sense? Because you probably don't want to know, but who?
No,
Brenna
I
would go
would
for?
want to know. I'm trying to.
Will you text her? Say
Yeah, I will.
Which guy would you be going for on F-Boy Island?
Okay,
out of all
I'll
of
tell
them?
you who I was just
Yeah.
like, please don't let it be an F-boy. Please don't let him be an F-boy.
Okay.
Kind of had the hunch. And then I was like, no, he's like, and at first I did not like him. I was like, the guy from Staten Island, Danny, like that
Danny.
Staten Island accent just rubs me the wrong way. And I was just like, ugh, this guy. But then
At
just the
first.
things he was saying, he was so
Yes.
attentive to Mia.
Yes.
And I was like, no, he's a good guy, please. And then I don't want to say
Yeah,
what
then.
he is.
Yes, but you either got confirmed or denied that. Yes.
So I'm
do you
I'm
think you would have
invested
been
in
the most
him.
attracted to him?
His hair though, you could get past that. Like,
Yeah.
You know what? The beard
Oh, God.
makes up for the hair. It's a nice beard.
Yeah, and he's so nice. Like he was there for
is.
me. He didn't seem full of shit. Like I know these guys come in as F-boys, but sometimes they really do get swept up in the like being
And
in
he
love. Like,
disassociated himself from Mikey D or whatever when he realized,
Oh,
like, oh
yeah.
my God, this guy was lying to everybody.
yes, I think
when he went off about being cheated on, and it just kept going like 4 times. Like he goes, I had this girlfriend. She cheated on me. Then I got this girlfriend. He did it 4 times.
Yeah.
I mean, 4 times.
I know, poor guy.
I know, but it just like you could just say I had 4 people. Like going
Oh,
through
yeah,
each
going through
one
each one
was
where you're
like, it was,
You could just do times 4. I don't think I can say who I would go for because that would compromise my position as a.
oh,
But I think we all can kind of probably guess because
fucking unbelievable.
I mean I knew
Who do
I,
you think
I
he
bet
picked?
I bet Brenna and I picked the same person.
Benedict.
Benedict. Oh.
So I think she thinks I'd be upset because he's also a
No,
comedian.
Benedict is definitely Andrew's guy. Like Andrew would probably go for Benedict. You guys have stuff in common.
Benedict is great.
I never
but
talked to him, and I
handsome.
wanted to talk to him. He was one,
Benedict
Casey.
was-
I like a lot.
Yes.
I think
Benedict
that's who
Egg,
Nikki
she
would go
wrote.
for.
Benedict. No, well,
Casey.
I'll tell you. I have an affection for Casey because he's been on the show for 2 seasons, and he's someone I look at
He's
as like a
famous.
little brother. Like because I've given him advice with his career. Like I like have an affection for him, but it's not it would just be too weird to say him, but I think he is adorable, and a younger version of me would be like have posters of him on my wall, I'm sure. But I gotta say that Asante is so cute and fun.
Yes.
And also I can't deny it, I am Mercedes. I think he's there's something charming about him.
He really annoys me.
I know he does, and I know I hate that is my answer.
I can't with him. He's too cocky. He's like
Jabrian,
but he plays the game well. When he goes, "Hey man, thanks Austin for doing all my work for me."
Oh my god,
like
how
that.
bad was Austin?
He's Lord Farquaad.
Oh my god. Oh, and Braden. I like Peter. I think I would be a mess on this show because I would be upset that the other girls got, because I wouldn't be able to just choose.
That's the other problem
5
with the
to
show.
focus on. I would want all of them.
I think that's not the problem, but like
Yeah.
once things are locked in,
I know.
It's locked in, and
Casey
it's
shows
like,
up, and
oh.
Tamaris is like, he's on my team,
Yeah.
and Louise is like, okay, I guess. It's like, well, I call dibs. What's she saying?
I swear I'm not a chuckle fucker. I think she meant chunky fucker.
Wait, what did someone say about Benedict that I laughed so hard over the weekend? God, man, I do like Benedict a lot. He's a stand-up comedian. I did not like, though, Noah sent me a video of him. He did a reel on Instagram where he was asking
Who's this?
Benedict.
Oh.
He was answering
Benedict.
questions
It's like the latest
about
video.
FBoy Island. And the last question on this series that Noah sent me was, who was your favorite girl on the show? And he said, honestly, none of them.
Oh.
Yeah, and he said
so
they were all
rude.
bad. He said
They were all bad is what he said.
But it
and I
didn't
wrote
sound
under it, I
facetious.
go, that
you wrote
last
to
question.
it?
Yeah, because Noah sent it to me being like, I go, it's probably he was joking. Like, there's no way he would say that, because you and I both know Benedict, well, at this point, Benedict is still very much in the running. And it's like, why would you say that? You fuck it. Like, and so I wrote underneath this thing, like,
Maybe you want
the last question, what is that answer? Is that supposed to be funny? Because there's not, and they weren't all bad. The girls were awesome, by the way. And I want to write to Louise and say, will you tell us if your lips are God-given or doctor-given? Because if they're doctor-given, I need to know exactly what is in those lips, because I want it in mine, because she is so sexual and so beautiful. And the girls were just gorgeous and so sweet, and I think smart, and I'm really proud of the casting this season.
And all the extra jokes in the editing was like
Yes,
a lot more than the first season. It
They
was
did
so
good. Yeah, they're really leaning into it, and I think next season, God willing, is going to be even funnier, because it's just the show is learning what it is, and I think the show's a hit. I mean, I if you watch the show, you won't stop watching it. I don't know anyone who
can't.
really can stop watching it and isn't excited for more episodes, but I want to do more of the show. It's so fun. I want to be on the show so bad, because now I'm watching the reality of it. I'm like, God damn it, I want to be on.
It'd be great, like you versus 2 other, like, well, I guess they don't have to
I
be
want them to
comedians.
do an
but,
old
like,
FBoy Island.
Yeah.
Like, if there was a different world, I would definitely do
like
a show
Arthritis
like this.
Boy or something. They come. It's not even at the beach. It's just like at a coffee shop.
Fibromyalgia boy.
Fibromyalgia.
I don't know. I was trying to think of an ailment.
I couldn't think of one either, and I went with arthritis. I couldn't think of one else.
Let's get to Tuesday segment, Reddit dump. This is your Reddit dump. Alrighty, boom, boom, boom. Okay, it's loading. Okay, so this is from the subreddit Me IRL. It's just like funny tweets and different things. This is a tweet from, it doesn't even say, it looks like maybe a Facebook post. The name is blocked out, but it said, when I bought my giant crystal ball, the lady looked me in the eye and said, whatever you do, never, ever leave it uncovered when you're not home. And I said, oh, wow, because of spirits? And she said, what? No, because if the sun hits it in a weird way, it'll burn your house down. And I liked that. This was something that I felt like you and all our male listeners, or those of our listeners that
me,
have
Dave,
a penis,
and Jeff.
yeah, are what's a way to our testes
Oh,
instead of
I like
besties.
that.
Our listeners who have male genitalia.
Why don't we call our besties besticles? It's kind of
yeah,
fun.
our besticles.
Diabesticles.
This is from the subreddit You Should Know, and it says, YSK, you should know that for guys, you can get the, quote, last drop out quickly by a simple gesture. Last drop meaning of pee. Okay, guys, I'll tell you something you'll thank me for for your life for. When you finish peeing, put your finger down there behind your balls, just between your legs, and push gently upwards. You'll feel the last drop stuck, coming forward and going out of your penis. In fact, your urethra does something like a valley, and the last drop is the lake in this valley. You can see it here, and there's a diagram. So yeah, the last drop is a struggle for many men as it often finishes its course in the underwear, and this inconvenience can be avoided easily. So behind your penis, shoot up,
Like
and then the
cross-
last drop
okay.
will like drip out
So
and
your
not
taint,
into your underwear.
your taint area.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Or just
No,
stick
that's
your finger
good to
straight
know
up your
because
asshole.
I've gone back into bed with a wet penis, and it's women don't love that.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's not cool when the guy's wet.
This is another one from me IRL. This is from a Twitter named John House
Tweaker.
of 308, and he says, "I have a very huge respect for those who didn't watch Game of Thrones at all, not even a single episode, even with all the noise made online and offline. These set of people cannot be affected by social pressure, peer pressure, or any kind of pressure in this world." And I felt like I'm one of them. Like, I think I watched one episode.
Same.
But I do not understand how people were like that became like it's like football for Game of Thrones and football are the same for me of like this is a thing that Americans widely and worldwide agree is like so addictive and important, and I could not get on board, and I wanted to be in the club. My boyfriend was obsessed with Game of Thrones and would have people over, and I would just have to go take a nap in the next room because I couldn't
Yeah.
understand it. I couldn't follow it.
There's a lot of different families. If I watched every episode, I still have no idea what happened. So I'm like your brain, but I like stuck with it for some reason. But there's a lot of shows I have. I mean, there's so many shows that we have. We haven't seen Sopranos, Breaking Bad.
But you have seen those, no?
No.
You've never watched
I
Sopranos
mean,
or
I've
Breaking
watched
Bad?
some episodes.
Really?
Yeah.
You would love those, though.
I
Because
know.
you love football. I do think football and Game of Thrones and Sopranos all are like in the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
That of things and I do know that I love the Sopranos. I just can't stand violence.
But I did watch every episode of OC. So, you know.
But a
who
Soprano
knows?
guy died recently, yesterday.
Yeah.
Mira
and
Sorvino's
he-
dad.
Tommy Meatballs.
Yes, Mira
Yeah.
Sorvino's dead, and he also played
I just made up a name.
Mr. Sir Capulet in Romeo and Juliet, Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet.
Oh.
He was like, Juliet! He was like the mean Claire Danes' dad in that. Okay, here's another from me, to me IRL, for me IRL. It says, "Babe, you're not an empath. You have PTSD from an unstable household and are sensitive to emotional change as a defense mechanism."
Isn't that the same thing, though?
But I think the empaths are always like, I just like feel people's emotions.
Oh,
It's
like, for no reason
You feel
other-
people's emotions because you're scared that your mom or dad is going to haul off and smack you. And so you have to be super sensitive. And yeah, you're right. It is the same thing. But I think some people associate being an empath with like,
Like, it's like they're a fortune teller. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
it's just a skill they were born with.
their teal swan, which you have to watch this documentary with
What's that
Brenna.
on?
It's called The Deep End.
I just watched
and
the
it's on
Victoria's
Hulu.
Secret one.
Oh, how's that?
You'd
I wanna
love
see
it.
that.
Really?
It just turns into a real big
It's just
Epstein
about,
fest. But
yes. We were just talking the other
Is
day.
it weird that conspiracy, like 3 years ago, was kind of like, okay, they're okay. You know, there were like maybe 20 people really into conspiracies, and now it's like, it's the biggest thing on earth is diving into Epstein.
Do you believe it? The Victoria's Secret
Epstein?
one, the one that they present in that one?
Yeah, I think.
It's not even conspiracy. I'm guessing it's like, this isn't about like having a pizza place and having sex.
No, Wexler gave Epstein like $400 million.
Exactly.
Like,
I mean, the Epstein
Why
thing,
would he do
will we
that?
ever know the truth of all that? Final thought. Over the weekend, we went on a boat ride in the Hamptons on this amazing boat. And then we went to this weird island that the boat captain told, Angel, the boat captain, told us that, what was it? That it was the second biggest privately owned island in America. And I was like, and it's the only one that isn't overrun by pedophiles. I said some pedophile
Yeah.
joke, and I think a couple people were just like, "Oh, Nikki and her," and I was like, and I think the Angel, the guy that was talking about it, was like laughed a little bit, but was deeply uncomfortable. But
was
Yeah.
it just y'all on the boat, or was
it was just
random?
us.
Oh,
it was,
okay.
It was a
Sarah Lena rented
speedboat.
this speedboat. We got up to 60 miles an hour on in the I don't even know where we were exactly. There's some kind of sound.
Long Island Sound, yeah.
Yeah, Long Island Sound. We were going so fast. It was so amazing. Kirsten was like, we were acting like golden retrievers because our faces were like, and I was getting, we looked so windblown. It was so freaking fun. And the wind was whipping my hair around and it felt like a guy was like grabbing it. Like it almost felt sexual. Like the wind made me feel like
I love it. Like
held. It was
you
awesome.
guys kind of get the idea of why a cigarette boat is such a turn on for women in Florida. Like
it was
speed
so
boat.
fast. Oh my God. And then he had this little thing that you can go under the water on.
Oh my God, I did that
up
before.
and down. It was so
It's
fun.
the best.
But my swimsuit bottoms were loose because my sister didn't come on this trip. She was supposed to bring me a swimsuit because I ended up staying in New York longer and I was supposed to come home. I didn't have a swimsuit, so I had to borrow one. It was too big on me. And Angel's like this hot boat captain, and all my friends are getting naked in front of Angel, and I'm like, I am not. And when you went on this thing, your swim trunks, they would fall off immediately. And I just didn't want is on this thing completely butt naked, just going through, and Catherine has her tits out. Everyone's naked, and I'm like, I don't want my butt exposed to Angel. And so I didn't get to ride on it as fast as I wanted to because my swim trunks were my bottoms were falling off. But yeah, everyone was getting naked so much. It was so fun, and I would have had we had like a boat captain that wasn't like kind of a babe. Not that I was like trying to be like, he needs to see me naturally.
Yeah.
I was just like, it was just having a man on. It was a woman boat captain. I wouldn't have cared, but it was just too much. But that thing was so cool. And Hala was riding it, and she said that the jets coming out like were right on her clit. She was getting like turned on by that thing.
She probably feels like she's fucking a Navy SEAL. You know.
So it basically it's a jet ski that you hold on to, and she said she went all the way to the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah.
And then back up.
Because we were like in 9 foot deep water. And we were diving off, and we taught Sarah Lena how to dive, which I didn't know was a thing people couldn't do, like just a natural, gentle dive.
Oh, wow.
So it was really cute to like teach her how to dive. Like it was like teaching a kid, but she's never learned. So how would she know? It was so sweet, and she was like proud of herself. It was adorable.
I love when an adult doesn't know. Brenna tried to swim underwater. We did that. You know how you have the competition? Who can go,
to see who could get. Yeah.
She swam. She held her nose with one hand and swam.
Oh.
And I go, "What is this? Is a joke?" But it's real. Like people can go
swim lessons. What the fuck? How would you know? Yeah, Chris has a hard time spelling. Like he's not the best speller.
Underwater?
Yeah.
With sign language? Andrew to the same show?
He struggles with it, I think. I know he does, but not terribly.
Yeah.
Like it's not dyslexia or anything. Like it doesn't matter. He's one of the most intelligent people I've known in my life. And it has no bearing on his intelligence. Some people just can't spell.
Yeah,
I can't understand football, and it's like this one thing that I'm like, how can I not?
Can't spell check. It's bad.
It to me is so fucking cute.
Yeah.
It's one of my. I would never say this to him, but I think it's one of the most adorable things in the world to me. I mean, I would say it to him, but like the fact that he's not the best swimmer either, and I'm a decent speller. I'm probably like.
Well, you'd have to spell it out for him.
But he's not the best swimmer, but he doesn't care. He still tries very hard and doesn't even know he's not a good swimmer. I recently was like, and because you're not the strongest swimmer, and he's like, what? And I was like, you just like struggle to swim a little bit. I'm not, you're just, it's not you're an NBA, but your swim skills, natural born athlete, but you're just not that.
Doesn't always transfer.
And he's just like, wait, I didn't. And I was like, oh, you thought you could? Baby boy. And I think there's so much cuteness when a man, like he's so good at so many things, but I know that's probably makes men feel like when they're not good at things, especially that their girlfriend might be good at, that it might make us be like, ew, like you're not a man. But I don't know. It's just so freaking cute.
How do you feel about when a man, if he lets you win? Is that terrible?
No, I don't mind that at all. But I want it to be like acknowledged, like I am severely downgrading my talent in order for us to have an even.
So if a guy played ping pong with you on a date and he played left-handed to let you win,
I don't mind that.
You wouldn't mind.
Not let me win, but try as hard as you can left-handed or with a hand behind your back or whatever it is. I would like that. Or blindfolded or not at all. I'd still be.
Wait, where are we now?
I don't even know.
Just later in the day.
But yeah, I think that our flaws are cute.
It was the cutest thing ever.
Yes, that she didn't know that she didn't have to hold her nose.
It
What an
literally
adorable
looked
thing.
like a manatee had special needs. Like it was. She
That's
couldn't
so
figure out.
I mean,
It was
I have so many things
sideways.
like that too. Yeah.
It was unbelievable, and I swam. 3. I did 3 or 4.
Like
she did
lengths
1
before you had to breathe. That's pretty cool.
But she's probably underwater just as long because it took that long.
Right.
It was, I don't know. I love a flaw.
I love a flaw.
Yeah.
I love just a cute, like, oh, no, nothing. Like, it's so, so cute. All right, we got to go. Thank you for listening to the show. Do not be cut. We will be back here tomorrow and
Be nimble.